We're all talking about it, and you probably see them all the time. More than 100 toll readers are now in place, ready to start collecting congestion pricing tolls, which is slated to begin in 2 short months.
Yeah, a last-ditch effort to cancel congestion pricing was introduced yesterday by Republican State Assemblyman Michael Tannousis, who is joining us this morning from Albany to discuss the likelihood of a repeal here. So, Assemblyman, good to see you this morning. Thanks for being here.
Good to see you, Dan. Thank you for having me.
So let's talk about this, right? Because congestion pricing is a law. And so what is your plan going to actually do if it's already a law of the land?
So congestion pricing was passed as part of the 2019 budget. So it's important to note, it wasn't a standalone bill. It was just part of a budget bill that was with a lot of, in Albany, they put these budget bills forth. A lot of these budget bills have good things. A lot of them, within the same bill have bad things. So I wasn't in the assembly at the time that it was passed. But since then, I've had many of my colleagues, all Republicans and even some, good amount of Democrats have stated that they're against congestion pricing. So this is an opportunity, given that very few of the members actually are for congestion pricing, which will probably include the assembly members that are in that actual zone. This is an opportunity for people to express their opposition. And by the way, Dan, this is one of many things we're doing to combat. I'm also a plaintiff on a lawsuit in state court to repeal congestion pricing. Our Congresswoman has put in a federal bill to repeal congestion pricing. This is an opportunity for residents of this state and of this city. If you believe, as do I, that this will be a money grab and that this, as shown by their own environmental impact study, will increase traffic and pollution on Staten Island and in the Bronx and in the outer areas, then put pressure on your assembly member and on your senator to sign on to this bill and to pass this bill.
Okay.
I think.
So it passes, right? Say it passes. Then what? If it's already a law?
Well, no. So we could pass laws and we could certainly repeal laws in the state assembly, right? So and the state assembly, by the way, has never been a stranger to repealing laws, right? So we have the ability to do that. The only reason why it's going forward is because the assembly gave the governor, the MTA, the ability to push this forth. We certainly have the ability to repeal it and take that away.
Mr. Tannousis, let me just ask you, part of this law is to collect $1 billion by the state every single year. So that part probably won't go away. What is the get around to still collect that money?
So another portion of my bill that I put in is a financial audit of the MTA. The MTA makes $2 million a day on the Verrazano Bridge alone. Okay, there has never been a financial audit. Part of the bill is to request a financial audit by a certified public accounting firm that will exactly tell us where is the money going that the MTA makes on a daily basis. There are other ways that the MTA can receive money if they are indeed in lack of money, but I don't believe they are. I believe the issue is that there's mismanagement in the MTA. I would love to see how much money is being spent on all the different projects that they're having, where money could be cut. The MTA is a service. It's a service for our constituents. It should not be a burden on our constituents. So to answer your question, I think an audit would give us those answers.
I want to talk about Congressman Nicole Maliotakis supporting your efforts, right? She's also introducing a bill of her own to block congestion pricing on top of the lawsuits and so on and so forth, right? I guess the question here for you is timing. Why now, with almost 2 months to go until this goes into effect? Why try to do this now and not earlier?
Great question. I think the momentum in opposition to congestion pricing has been building up as I speak to my colleagues and I speak to other elected officials. And it really makes you wonder how this bill was passed to begin with. So this is an opportunity. The only way that congestion pricing will indeed be pulled back or repealed is if the constituents of the city and of the state make their voices heard, and that would be through their assembly members.
But they do that, I mean to interrupt you, but a lot of times constituents and riders of the MTA, they do voice their concerns at public hearings. You see it with the fare increases, right? And then they still go ahead and move ahead with the fare increases. So, the people are making their voice heard. There is opposition, but there's also a heck of a lot of people in favor of it at the same time.
Right, but you have to keep in mind, at least in my view, I have heard a lot more opposition than I have for it. I've attended those hearings. The people that were for it, most of them were people that live within this area. They live within the zone. And the most troubling thing for me is that these people at the time of the hearing were complaining because they told the MTA they didn't want to pay to go home. But yet I represent Staten Island. We've been paying to go home for as far as anyone can remember. So I think it's a situation where the constituents at this point, the residents, have to put pressure on their own local elected officials. And I believe if they fully do that, then absolutely the New York State Assembly can repeal this bill. But they have to put that pressure on their elected officials and not just attend the hearings and complain.
We're out of time, but I just have to say this all is supposed to start in June. So isn't it a bit too late?
No, I think I've seen the Assembly move mountains, and I'm sure both of you have as well. When it comes to something the Assembly wants to do, they can do it. And 2 months is more than enough time. I've seen them move bills in 2 to 3 days, and I'm sure Dan has as well. So it is 2 months. It is 2 months from now. But if they truly want to do this, and if the Assembly members want to repeal this, then it certainly could be done within 2 months.
All right, that's on congestion pricing. I wanted to talk to you about the budget, but we're out of time. I know we have a preliminary budget, so that is good news out of Albany. Good to see you, sir. Thanks for coming on this morning to talk about this.
Thank you, Dan. Great to see you.